welcome to this amazing show today. This is a show where we talk about different things that affect us from the different aspects of our lives. We go far and wide to bring many things that are relating to us in the society, how we live and how we adapt to different things. And that is why today we are shortly going to dive into digital economy and technology innovation. So I wouldn't want to waste so much of our time, but we're just going to check what digital economy is a little bit, and then I introduce to you the amazing guest that we have in the studio today. So when it comes to digital technology, what comes to your mind? We are in a society right now where since the last few years, the name cashless policy just came in. I mean, that's one part of digital technology. Many people are now online vendors. If you enter your, especially WhatsApp status or some of the social media platforms, you see advertisements everywhere. The popular one is the, should we call it clothes boutique? Many of them are actually CEOs online now. I think if you should open your contact, you see shoes online, clothes online, and the sweetest part is that some of these guys are even third parties. So how do they manage to sell these products online and then everything is just going well? You see perfume vendors, they just post things online that will even help you to get things so easy. I mean, the easiest thing you could do is just to reach out to this person. Okay, I need this, and it will be delivered to your doorstep. Even though, yes, the highest we can do is just that they will put their own charge inside. So, but we are going to check some of these things, and going deeper, we're going to check the side of the blockchain, the side of the cryptocurrency, and the other side of the AI. So stay with me, and thank you so much for being with me on this show today as I introduce our amazing guest. So by my right, we have a gentleman, the first one, Mr. Abundance Emmanuel, who is an AI technical writer. I appreciate your presence on the studio. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you in advance for the input you are going to give us on this show. And on my left, the second gentleman is Mr. Geoffrey Azi, a Web3 content creator. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us on the studio. Thank you so much for the input you're about to give us. So without wasting more, you've heard my voice and it's time for us to hear their voice. But before then, let's still check what we are going to talk about today. So we have an AI writer, and then we have a Web3 content creator. And then sometimes you might be wondering, what are we doing? What are we talking about? And how is this inclined to the topic we are talking about? If you check, AI is the reigning tool now. An average student, they do their homework with AI. You are not an exception. If you are a student watching this, in one way or the other, you've contacted AI. And every other person holding a smartphone today have used an AI machine, because the Google now is even linked to AI. There are some things you search and the first result you see is an AI input before it refer you to other links and other products and other publications. So AI is into us deeply. AI is something that we cannot kick against in our society today. So AI has gone so wide that it's currently living in us. So we're just going to dive into what AI is and how AI is part of what we are talking about today. So sir, if I may ask, can you just give us a little brief, just a little brief introduction on your part as an AI technical writer, what AI is and how it is affecting us and how we are coping to live with it? And I mean, when AI first came out, everybody was kicking against it. Oh, this is something that will come and displace us of our jobs. This is something that will make students lazy. This is something that is very harmful. So how do we now come to agreement with or without our conscience, rather, because it has been embedded in every place that we are now, that you cannot just do without it. So can you just give us a small briefing from your part?
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you for having me. So, I'll I'll have to start with this. What people are afraid of isn't necessarily AI. People are afraid of change. And change is something that has always terrified people who are stuck in their ways. In as much as I I'll give an analogy. I decided to watch Spider-Man, the very first Spider-Man movie recently, and basically there was a scene that Uncle Ben, who's Spider-Man's uncle, got laid off from his job because computers were involved. Basically, he's an old man or middle-aged, should I say, but he clearly couldn't adjust to learning how to using a computer, and he got laid off from his job. And you could tell he felt angst. You could tell he felt a little anger that, oh, I've been working for these people all these years just because I can't use this new technology. How dare they lay me off and all of that? Well, the fact is, the AI era has come to make the people who would decide to hold on to it and tap into it creators of their own destiny. It has come to make them decide their own fates. It has come to give them the opportunity to decide future. It's because of AI that Elon Musk can buy a 44 billion company, $44 billion company, and decide to sack 20,000 of the staff. It's because most of those duties can be automated. Those duties can be given to computers, and one person having knowledge of having to do this job can do the job of at least 15,000 of those people. So it is a scary thing to only people who are not ready for change. But as human beings, we are dynamic. From small, we crawl. From crawling, we decide to walk. From walking, we go to school, we talk. We Over the years, the way we talk changes. So one thing I feel human beings should not be afraid of, and one thing as I emphasize in my role as an AI writer, and my role as an AI writer is to convince people most of the time that this is for you. It's not for a younger generation. Technology was never for a younger generation. If a wheelbarrow was invented today, you won't say the people that are coming after me are the people that are supposed to use a wheelbarrow. It's for everyone. So I'm trying to demystify the AI, make it fearless. So my simplest definition of AI to begin with is AI is simply teaching computers how to think like human beings. And that would reduce the workload for a lot of people. Basically, people that use it for their assignments and all of that, I don't think it's them being lazy. I think it's people working smart. A lot of things are on the plate of a lot of people, especially in Nigeria. So, completing monotonous daily tasks that can be given to a computer to do is only a no-brainer. Imagine someone that is working and schooling at the same time. Let's say the person has a job at a club or wherever they are working, and then they work till late in the night, and then they have assignments. It only makes sense that something that can give you the results you need should be given the assignment for it for it to complete it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is it's making life easier for a lot of people. It's putting food on a lot of plates. People who didn't have a lot of future prospects. Now, mastery of AI has given them prime position in this new digital economy. People that didn't have knowledge of farming, people that won't have entered a big business, people that couldn't enter construction and all of these, people that couldn't do engineering. Now they just have to master a few AI skills and then the world is open for them. So basically, as it's scaring off a lot of people and putting down a lot of people down, it's opening a lot of doors.
All right, thank you so much for that. But then that brings my mind to when you were giving your example of the Spider Man you watched, and you said he was relieved of his job because computers were brought, and then you added that Elon Musk have to sack 20,000 people because computers are now involved. So can we now say is AI now creating more jobs than it is replacing?
I would say it is just restructuring what people call a job. It is restructuring what people define as a job. And sometimes the positions people occupy in companies, if you really narrow it down and look through it, the positions people occupy in companies these days are obsolete. They are not going into the new era. They are not necessarily needed. So the fact that it is taking jobs from other people who it's taking jobs from other people who are not ready to upgrade themselves, who are just comfortable where they are, not wanting to put in any more effort, not wanting to put in any more, not wanting to create. Because even in job descriptions these days expect people to create. That's why content creators are the new rave in these days and in this day and time. In as much as you have a task or tasks to finish, basically it is the new content creation age means that people have to create content, people have to create new things, people have to bring new things to the fore. And the fact is, it's going to take jobs from a lot, but it's going to give jobs to a lot more.
Okay, so what I'm trying to check is how what's the balance? Because okay, so let's say relating to NTA College, for example. Now, I have a classmate that we recently started seeing her status with full load of AI edited pictures, AI generated pictures, and we're like, why are you taking up the job of photographers? What will photograph editors now be getting money from? And she'll be like, Omo, I don't have money to go and be paying those people. At least I now have an AI that can give me, if not perfect, but then closely related to my image. I can just prompt it and it will, or I can send a draft of my image and tell him to create another one with different attire, different setting, different background and everything. So in this, you are trying to say is creating more opportunities. But so let's for example, what will be the fate of photograph editors in that context? What can they now look for them to balance this kind of people that no more patronizes them again?
Okay, so basically, um, I won't come here and say that AI is here to provide any form of balance. I feel AI is a necessary shock to the system. AI is here to sift those who are excellent from those who are not at their jobs. It is a sad reality, but that's what it's here to do. When the camera first came out, painters would have been shaking in their boots. Basically, painters would have been afraid because, I spend days, if not months, painting this wonderful picture of somebody, maybe a king, a prince, and all of that. And in an instant, someone can just replicate my work with a camera. That must have been terrifying. But paintings are still being bought today. Paintings are literally how rich people hold cash. By the time they hold an asset of a big painting, by the time they hold a big painting as that is worth a lot of money as an asset, that is their means of passing money around that they don't want taxed.
Okay, but
so let me just land. So the point I'm trying to make at the end of the day is that the painters are still there are still people who paint, and there are still people who are paid to paint, even in this age of camera, and even in this age that someone does not even need to leave their room for a photo shoot. They can use AI and replicate it. There are still people who buy paintings. AI has just come to separate the people who are excellent at their job from people who are mediocre or aren't just putting that much effort. In this age of AI, videography and everything, a wedding photo shoot is still going to be done by a professional photographer, an elite one for that matter. A wedding videography, anything that regards to do with a wedding, even birthday photo shoots, people still pay because they want that natural greatness that only a human being can provide. AI is bridging the gap, but the cartoonishness, the AI-ishness, if I may say, will still be found in it. But when people are great at photography, they are just separated. By the time, it's just a matter of who can afford them. And then they can, if even with all the AI, even with everything, I am still so great that you need to come to me to take a photo shoot for you. That means I can now increase my price because I'm a baller. I understand my job. I know what I'm doing. AI has just come to either make work easier for those who are ready to put in more work, or to separate those that were doing the job great to begin with from those who were mediocre at it. Even the people that do photo editing, they now use AI to edit the photos. Not necessarily, AI make the photo AI fully, but just some necessary adjustments to make it more appealing to the eye. So it's just come to enhance. It's not necessarily come to balance anything. There is really no balance. As I said before, it is a shock to the system. It's nothing like what I've ever seen in the past 20. It is the greatest technological advancement in the past 50 years of humanity. And as such, it will, there may be a balance can be found later down the line. But for now, it has just come as a shock to a system that has been stagnant for such a long time.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask some couple of questions, but I think you made more clarity at the course of your. So let me just ask, since we are talking about original painters and AI painting. So if you should see two different paintings in the market today, one is AI and one is an original painting. Given the fact that AI is also a professional when it comes to that, because I think today we accepting AI is not the major big deal. Many people can accept it, but they don't even know how to prompt it. So let's say we have a very good prompting and then we have a very good painter. Which product will you buy?
For me personally, I will buy if what I can afford. So basically, if the AI prompter gets it close enough to the painting, the original painting, I will buy what I can afford. But the truth is, in my mind, if someone uses AI to paint a Mona Lisa and I'm buying the fake version of the Mona Lisa, it will still be in my mind that this is not the original version of the Mona Lisa. The original version of the Mona Lisa goes for $14 million. Actually. And as such, the fact I hang a Mona Lisa painting made by AI in my room doesn't give me any more mental elevation. So I'm not rich enough to afford an original Mona Lisa. In fact, I don't think anybody's rich enough these days because based on studies, the real is not even in circulation anymore. So the fact is people will buy what they can afford. Like you said, oh, I cannot pay a photographer. Key point. I can't pay a photographer and thus I use this AI. So people are trying to, get stuff at a cheaper rate. And you put in cheap efforts, you receive, cheap results. And as such, a prompt engineer will obviously sell a Mona Lisa for maybe 50K, just what the regular civilian can afford. But in my mind, I know I don't have an original Mona Lisa. That's what I said. It is separating the elite from the regular.
Wow. All right. So maybe we should just close with this. So do you think now separating the elite with a normal practitioner or a lazy practitioner, do you think the fear of AI is controllable?
The fear of AI is controllable as long as people are willing to accept change. We are a changing species. Even people who are afraid of the AI still use it for regular Googling. ChatGPT is basically the new Google these days. So people who fear the AI still use it. The fact you are afraid of it doesn't mean it's going to go away. The fact you are afraid of the dark doesn't mean light is going to appear when it's not meant to appear. So basically, in my job as a writer, it's more or less constant encouragement, more or less reassurance. Have you ever used Duolingo before? Duolingo is basically used for learning a new language. And you see how, okay, you are afraid of this language, but the Duo writer, whoever writes for Duo, or whatever AI is writing for Duo, keeps giving you encouragement that you're almost there. You're just one step closer. There's just one more thing you need to learn, and then you just get better than you were yesterday. So I feel it is just the role of writers, AI content creators, people who create content for AI, not to put it as a thing of fear, to encourage people. We are not as, resolute as we think we are. Human beings, we are not as resolute as we think we are. We need some urging, we need some pushing. If not, the next step seems so far away. If you constantly tell them, oh, you can start from prompt engineering, basically using, okay, you write, you are a writer. So now, okay, you're afraid AI will take your writing job. Why not? A lot of people are looking for prompt engineering, and prompt engineering sounds like a big thing. What is prompt engineering? Literally just knowing how to write the words in a way that AI can pick it up and just giving AI a set of specific instructions. And basically, well, they have added engineering at the back to make it look like it's such a big thing. But a lot of people around the world are just looking for people who know how to tell AI what to do, not even how to build the AI. Just tell AI what to do. So you do that on your free time. It's just that sometimes some prompting needs a page, some prompting needs 2 pages, and you get paid in dollars to prompt AI 2 pages. So what necessarily is the fear? If you actually open your eyes, if you actually open your heart and look at this thing as it is, telling a robot what to do, and then learning certain tools that will give you the results you need from said robot, it's a new world. It's open for you. It's ready for you to take it.
All right, thank you so much. If you leave us, we can go on and on and on with plenty of questions, plenty of things that are evolving from this same AI. I was one of the person that was kicking against the evolution of AI. What is this? And it's going to make students so lazy. And funny enough, today I do my assignment with AI. Yeah, so I think we've had enough from this. Don't just watch and listen, just take the key points that are going to help you. This AI is not going into existence, it is here to stay, and it's something that will change us for good, and it is something that will keep advancing so whatsoever we do in our lifetime. Like, everybody have a smartphone now, and everybody have access to AI. Everybody have access to these facilities that will help life become easier. Either you are a photographer, either you are a videographer, either you are an accountant or anything. There are different, in fact, not even different, all aspects of life. AI is now here to change it, to advance it, and to make everything easier. But as he said, the only thing you need to do is just become the elite. No, don't be at the other segment, so that AI will not differentiate you and take you to the other side, collecting your job, and then you don't know what to do. One key point: learn how to prompt AI. That's one of the important things. Even the assignment most of us do, most students, you see them, they just take a question and paste to AI, and oh my goodness, the output is whoosh, a different thing. But then learn how to prompt an AI. You will even be educated at the cost of doing such things, and you will be improving daily. So thank you so much for that input, sir. And with our permission, we're going to move to the other side of the technology, which is the blockchain. And as we have a Web3 content creator, we're just going to give him the room now to tell us more about, this word Web3, Web3, Web3. Many people have heard about it, but they don't really know what a Web3 is. And funny enough, it's something related to us. It's actually related to us. So, sir, please, can you just a little time enlighten us what actually is Web3 before maybe we dive into how it's even connected to our topic for today, and how it is even connected to our lifestyle when it comes to the questions that we have for today. So what actually is Web3, and what do you do? Why did you even choose to go to Web3? How is it even affecting you? How is it even working and everything? Thank you, sir.
Amazing. I'm happy to be welcomed back into the party.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Web3 is like the next iteration of the internet. So I think let me take it back a little. Web 1 is the first iteration of the internet. That was when the internet was only read only. You go on the internet. This was late 90s to like maybe that's the mid 1990s to early 2000s. The internet was read only. If you go on the internet, you could only read what was there. You get me? Then the next iteration was Web 2, and is the one that we are currently heavy into. That is the Facebooks, the websites that we have right now. What you can do with all these internet platforms is that you can hop on there, read what is there, and you can also write and engage with the internet there. You get me? So then this iteration of the internet, right? Okay, difference is that Web 2, right, the one that we currently use, the data belongs to the companies that provide you with access.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's say Facebook, many of the internet platforms you go on right now, they give you access, but the data is theirs. Google, particularly, right? If you go on these platforms, you're not paying to use them most of the time. So at the end of the day, you're the product. So you get me. The data they get from that is entirely theirs. Now, Web3 is the iteration of the internet that goes to say that, okay, it's built on the blockchain, obviously, right? It's built on the blockchain, and it goes to say that, yeah, your data is going to be yours. There's going to be transparency in the system because of the structure of the blockchain. You get me? So the blockchain itself is a cryptographic, decentralized ledger that just makes things very transparent and easy to navigate to a certain degree. I would say easy because maybe in the system for now, but Web3 is the next iteration of the internet. You get me? Powered solely by the blockchain, gives you power, gives you more ability to, to own yourself. Let's say own your data yourself. So unlike Web2, the data that you have in Web3 is entirely yours. Let me give a prime example. If you own a digital wallet, let's say for instance a wallet that you can use to save or keep crypto tokens. Yes, there's a decentralized wallet, like the DEX, the decentralized exchange wallet. Let's say for example, the MetaMask, the Soulflare, and all these ones. Your tokens are entirely yours. They are in your control. You have full custody of those tokens. So you see that in itself gives you power because no one can take from you and no one can manipulate what you have. It's entirely yours. So the general idea is to give you as an individual power and also foster privacy. I think I've spoken at length.
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the things is that Web3 information is so much, and thank you so much for giving us this, because many people don't, as I said earlier, many people don't really know what a Web3 is. And many people will know what a cryptocurrency is, but not all of them knows what a cryptocurrency actually is. How can you actually use and manage cryptocurrencies? How can you, a cryptocurrency is part of the blockchain. What is a blockchain? Many of them, they do not know. But I think listening to these, yes, is a very good enlightenment on the part of the blockchain as an. So why we are just bringing this topic is for us to explore. So let's say now, as a way of asking, as a Web3 content creator and somebody that is into cryptocurrency, if I'm not mistaken, yes. So is cryptocurrency really the future of money, or is it just a trend?
Crypto in itself, the entire infrastructure is next to what I refer to. Let's say its development is what I refer to. The light bulb, right? That was when the light bulb was created. Cryptocurrency is like that. The entire infrastructure, right, is very similar to it because it's a payment system that is unlike anyone. It does not have it makes access to any part of the world very, very easy. You get me? It's just computers speaking to one another, writing information across the world, so you can make transactions happen, or get in touch with people across the world with so much ease, right? Now this is one value that the infrastructure in itself provides, right? Now generally I would say that crypto just gives you as an individual the opportunity to access places that you want to access. Let me narrow it down to Nigeria, for example. We have a payment problem, and I think this is one of the solutions that cryptocurrency is solving right now. We have a payment problem in Nigeria. Many people, if not recently, before you could not get access to PayPal or receive payments from abroad. He's a technical writer here, and I'm sure he has written for a lot of clients, and he can tell that in his time of writing, prior to recent times, payments has always been a problem, right? Now the Web2 infrastructures create solutions, but the solutions are a tad bit expensive. You get me? But crypto creates an avenue. Let me use Solana because I'm heavily on Solana, that blockchain particularly, right? So let me use Solana. It's one of the, arguably the fastest blockchain infrastructure out there, right? It makes payments easy. You can pay with stable coins like USDC, right? And before you know it, payments that you make from one country to another happens in seconds. Now, the payment platforms in Web2 are very, very limiting. If you use Western Union sometimes to make payments, you might take like 3 days to maybe a week to get your money. But I can guarantee that if you're getting paid from, let's say, another country and use Solana, for instance, you can get your money instantly. And the beautiful part of it is that it is so little. The cost of this, making these transactions is so little, sometimes less than a cent, to make huge and huge transactions. My point is that the crypto, let's say crypto in itself, right, is resolving the issue of payments in the world, right? I hope that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So let me just bring your mind back. You were speaking on something decentralization earlier.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what actually decentralization means?
Okay. Decentralization in itself means that there is no centralized power controlling. Let me give a prime example, right? Nigeria in itself has a central bank.
Yes.
You get me? So anything that is, let's say, concerned that has to do with monetary and fiscal policies, a whole lot of the time, let's say monetary particularly, is being dictated by the central bank,
Yes.
right? So if the central bank wants to regulate inflation, for instance, they might give a monetary policy that says, okay, so every bank should increase their interest rate to a certain amount and all that. You get me? Now that is good for operating a country, right? But there are also certain, it can be narrowed down to smaller scales, you get me? To micro scales where there's a tad bit of centralization and things. This is to say that people that participate in the entire process have limited or less control. You get me? In a centralized environment, right? Have less control. Like people in the CBN, particularly right now, have more control of what is happening to our money in Nigeria, right? Which is great to a certain degree, but if you bring the same logic to crypto, it's going to defeat the entire aim of it all. Decentralization in itself is trying to say that, okay, no particular person or entity owns control of the infrastructure. You get me? In itself, the blockchain ecosystem, right? Let's say if you're making a transaction, what makes it different? Let's say Bitcoin particularly, right? What makes every transaction unique is that it is being recorded across multiple ledgers in the multiple computers, just generally, right? So you cannot take without being caught.
Oh.
That is like, think of it like a very big tree that if you, let's say, take one leaf, the other leaves have like records of what is happening right now. So decentralization basically is just saying that this right here is being controlled by no central figure, but it's being known by everyone. You get me? So let's say if I make a transaction in the blockchain, right, it records in multiple ledgers, right? That way I cannot take back my transaction and say, no, I did not make this, right? This is, I'm trying to like just make it as,
because everybody
has seen it, and this is just the general idea of decentralization in itself.
Okay, so is it actually that nobody has the full record, or the person initiating a transaction has the master record?
This is the interesting part, right? There is a general record, right, of everything. You get me? Like I said, the blockchain itself is a very huge ledger that records transactions across multiple computers around the world. You get me? So let's say if I'm sending money to my brother here, you get me? I send him, let's say, $100, right? Multiple computers across the world are going to record that, yes, there was a transaction that happened, a transfer that happened to so person, right? This way, I cannot lie and say that, no, I did not make this transfer. Again,
Okay.
so decentralization fosters transparency and also security. You get me? Because if you're making a transfer, you're sure there's a record of it across multiple computers across the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's narrow it down to what we practice and what many other people practice. Because in as much as blockchain and cryptocurrency and everything is really out there for now, not everybody is included heavily on it. So let's say to the part that narrowing it down to mobile bankings and even the commercial banks. Will blockchain eventually have an effect on these our commercial banks? Because I mean, the spread of blockchain has not reached the spread of these mobile bankings. Today, if you go out to meet an Okada man, you say, "Take me, I'll transfer your money to you." To an average percentage of them will agree because all of them have a mobile bank now.
Yeah.
So is blockchain gradually coming down to affect these banks, or we have to migrate to meet them up there?
Okay, this is the part that I actually like the most because this is my job, right?
Okay.
I personally create content that fosters the adoption of cryptocurrency, particularly Solana, right? The infrastructure itself. So I create content to enlighten people, to tell them that, okay, this is how you can navigate the crypto world, this is how you can navigate Solana, and this is how you can get involved with it without finding yourself in a situation whereby you are compromised. You know, your money and everything is compromised, right? So this is basically what I do as a Web3 content creator. Just tell people, yes, this infrastructure is safe, this is how it works, and this is how it is. Now, with regards to the question you asked, right? Solana per se, I'm going to focus heavily on Solana because
No problem.
that is where...
I mean, Solana is one of the biggest.
Very good,
Right.
right? So Solana in itself is doing a whole lot to see that people across the world, there's a community called the Super Team community. Super Team, we have the Super Team NG, it cuts across many countries, right? So what Super Team NG does is that it has a community of developers, writers, content creators, and other people that are geared towards fostering for the adoption of Solana in, let's say, different parts of the world, right? Global adoption, that's what it's after, right? Now, what these communities do is that they look at their environment, their immediate environment, and see problems that the people are experiencing the most, right? And then they develop solutions to those problems, right? So let's say, as you speak, I have a prime example. There's a product that has been developed by someone I know. It's a great guy. It's called Nectify. What Nectify does is that if you have your cryptocurrency and your tokens, right? You send it to your Nectify wallet. What it does is that you can easily pay to the Okada guy that you spoke about earlier.
From
You get me?
Nectify.
From Nectify. So
To
from
what
your
banking
to
system is
whatever
he
banking system is
using?
using.
Really?
So it makes, you see, this person has seen that there's a problem of converting, your tokens to Naira.
Naira.
So right now, it has drawn the two, communities together right now. So if the Okada guy wants to make payments he wants to receive Naira, right? You say, okay, good, I'll make transfer to you, right, using Nextfly. You see, so there are many and many platforms like this that are being built to make sure that the gap between the two ecosystems is being narrowed, right? And this goes to say that people are working like extremely hard to see that this happens. And another aspect to it is that even top tier banking, sectors across the world are venturing into the scene, you get me, the Web3 scene, to see that they connect deeply with, the future of what payments is. Prime example, BlackRock has like big investments with Solana. They are currently buying BTC and other tokens, right? And also JP Morgan, all these like top tier big banks across the world are investing heavily into crypto because it is going to be the payment gateway for the future. You get me? In recent time, what's the name of this company? Is it PayPal? PayPal has a stable coin right now that you can use to make transactions. You get me? Because everyone is gradually realizing that okay, the previous infrastructure that is in Web 2 is not, as capable as the infrastructure that comes with Web 3, right? So they are gradually switching into it, right? So eventually, the payment gateways are also going to, in fact, a whole lot of other payment gateways too are also incorporating Solana, particularly, right, into their payment systems to make transactions and everything more fluid and fast.
Wow. All right. This is wonderful, and I still have a couple of questions, but let's try to drop those questions down and focus on the the attachment given to this system. You know, I mean, in an average setting, or let's say just somebody you see who is practically into these blockchains and this kind of currencies, one of the first inscription that will come to tag that person is a scammer. I mean, even though I can attest that the notion is beginning to change with time, but first thing when you see somebody involved with cryptocurrency, they tag this first person as not pure in one way or the other. Be it forex, be it crypto, be it whatsoever part of the blockchain. So how do we differentiate these things? And how does it even start that scammers are not being attached to people who practice this kind of currency?
Thank you very much for that question. Like I said, I am a creator, right? And it's a part of my job to educate people about. I think education is the most valuable thing you can give to people that are unaware of what is happening in the ecosystem right now. So it is my job to enlighten people and tell them that this is what is happening, this is how to navigate the system. The truth is that in whatever sector you find yourself, there are just certainly going to be a lot of bad apples. And I think in the early times of crypto, many people saw loopholes and exploited it and cheated a lot of people. And it still happens every day. Yes, because people see that people see that okay, you can make money insanely fast in the system and say that then they become, sometimes I excuse my French, but sometimes people are gullible. You just want to make money fast, and life doesn't work like that generally. So you have to be patient, you have to be strategic, and part of my job is to tell people to inform people on how careful they can be, the steps they can be to they can take to be careful, because sometimes you can be careful as you want to be, but not take the right steps. And so I think a major thing that should be done to people is education, right? If people are open to educating, and that is what we do as creators, right? Just to educate people. I know some people are not ready to evolve, but it's our job to enlighten people and let them know that okay, this is the future of technology, and you should key into it before it's too late.
This is a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this input. These are great educational informations that people are supposed to know. And I know that you have a lot more that you've not even spit out yet. But we are very, very grateful for having this. And to you that are watching, thank you so much for staying with us all the while. I hope that you've grabbed a lot. And we have more and more of this. I think I'm going to bring these guys on another edition to have a longer and exposition on some of these things. So thank you so much for being with us. If you really want some more information like this, please you can drop it on the comment station, and you can drop your questions or whatsoever. We have them at our disposal. I mean, we can throw these questions to them so that, I mean, this guy is here. He has emphasized it more than once that he is an educationist. He educates many people on these things. As you heard, his title is a Web3 content creator. So the content he creates is the one to educate people on his field. So I think because of time, we're going to draw a close to this show for today. Thank you so much for staying with us. We look forward to your comments on the comment box, and do well to also like and subscribe, and also follow the channel as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for staying with us.